Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hey,
Oh,
how's it going?
good. How are you?
Good. I am seeing all sorts of faces that I haven't seen on here forever. So you get to meet lots of fearless warriors tonight.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad I got here on time. My class literally just ended 30 seconds ago, so it's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Are
it's
you
been
are you guys using Zoom for your class too?
um no, so that was the good thing. So I could just pull it up a thing called like Blackboard Collaborate. So it's basically just the same thing, just a different app, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. All right. I have asked Taylor to come on and be a guest speaker and share her story. Just a little bit about Taylor. Taylor played at Arizona, and she is currently in the NFP, which is the pros, and she plays for, I want to get this right, the Cleveland Comets. And you are on Team Mexico for the now 2021, sounds so weird, Olympics. And yeah, and are you coaching now too?
I am currently, well, obviously I'm at home right now with my family,
Right.
but I was a grad assistant at the University of Arkansas, helping out their softball team this past year. So not really sure how that's gonna play out next year with everything going on right now,
Right.
but still a plan. So
Yeah. Very cool. So I've kind of given a quick introduction, and if we just dive right into it, if you could tell us, about you, more about your bio, and just kind of knowing that you've been in these girls' shoes and that they're looking up to you to kind of blaze the path and how they can follow.
yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, I mean, I think Amanda covered it pretty well. But I played at the University of Arizona from 2015 to 2019. So I just graduated last May. So it's my first year out of college. I'm currently a grad assistant at the University of Arkansas. As of April 30th, the beginning of May, I'll be done with my first year there. So I'm still enrolled in classes and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm originally from Orange County, California, but about 2 years ago, my family moved to Tucson. So that's where we are. We're in Tucson, Arizona right now. So a lot closer to the university that I attended. I do play in the pro leagues in the NPF for the Cleveland Comets. This summer will be my second year. And then this will also be my second summer with the Mexican national team as well. We qualified last August for our berth to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. That has now officially been moved back a year to 2021. But they still call it Tokyo 2020. So if you guys ever use that hashtag, it's still 2020, even though it's a year behind now. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of what I do and where I'm from and all that kind of crazy stuff. I think that something new that like nobody really knows that I'm kind of just starting to spread out. I recently signed a contract with a new pro league called Athletes Unlimited, and that will be their first ever season. Will start mid to late August, and it's only a 6-week league, but it's really exciting, super cool. We're kind of It's a whole revamp of what a league looks like. So I don't really know a whole lot about it yet, and we're trying to get the word out and everything. So all over social media and stuff, we'll just keep you guys will just keep seeing a whole bunch of stuff about Athletes Unlimited and all that kind of cool stuff. But that's kind of really the only new thing we have to offer right now about my life. But that's just kind of a brief rundown, I guess, of a bio for myself. So
Yeah, very cool. So it's cool too because you'll bring the perspective that you've played travel ball, you've played high school ball, you've played college ball, you've coached college ball, you're playing in the pros, and now you're looking into this new league. And so, literally, the whole evolution of our sport. And I'm sure these girls will have lots of good questions for you. But the biggest thing that I would bring to this and these girls is different perspectives of how did you get started with softball and what did your journey look like?
yeah, so obviously I'm from California. California is a huge outlet for college or for softball and recruiting and playing on the top teams. So I was kind of just honestly really fortunate enough to be raised in the right place at the right time. But it goes back to the coaches that I've had. So I've always had good coaching on the teams I've been on, really supportive people, great teammates, been fortunate enough to play on great teams with great teammates who have also worked their way through the recruiting process, the college level, playing in the pros, being grad assistants, all that kind of stuff too. But it really just goes back to hard work, guys. I mean, not everybody gets fortunate enough to be in great places at great times. I know some people obviously struggle with growing the game of softball in their area. And that's really something that has been super eye-opening to me as I've gone throughout college, and then doing pitching lessons and working with girls at Arkansas, and kind of just like learning about different people from different places. We all understand that every place is different. Softball is still a growing sport. But what my generation is trying to do, and obviously what Amanda's trying to do, is grow the game, guys. Any way that we can grow the game from where we are and get you guys to understand it, and then you guys to grow the game. That's our goal here, right? So, but
cool.
just for me personally, I grew up with tough parents that wanted me to succeed at something, no matter what it was, whether it was athletics, academics, no matter what I chose to do with my life. If I wanted to be an artist, I was going to be the best artist I could be, because if they're paying for it, I have to do it well. And so just having the tough parents along with the coaching and the teammates that I've had, it allowed me to be driven to work hard, right? If you have a strong work ethic, that's going to get you guys really far, right? Everybody, the common saying is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? So you guys, especially for me, it didn't come easy. I had to work so hard to get to where I was, because I wasn't the most talented person from day one, even growing up, even getting into high school. Halfway through my recruiting process, I was always kind of on the back burner until I really said, you know what, like one day I'm going to be where the people at the front are, and I'm going to be better than them, and I'm going to go to school and I'm going to compete against them. And for me, it was just doing a ton of extra work, making sure I'm doing pitching lessons as much as I can, doing hitting lessons, working out, all that kind of extra work stuff. And you can do it with your teammates and your friends. I know right now it's a very strange time in the world, and it makes it really hard. It's hard for me too, so I totally understand, guys. But when we do have those opportunities again to be around a ton of people, the best way for me to be the best that I could be was playing with the best, working with the best, working out with people that I knew were going to push me just as hard as I would push them. So that's really cool. But I think the biggest thing was I wanted to go to college. And because I wanted to go to college, I knew that financially the only way I was going to get there was to get a scholarship. And to get a scholarship, you have to work hard and you have to be good at what you do. And then on top of that, you also have to realize that scholarships aren't guaranteed, right? Nobody is guaranteed a scholarship by playing a sport, right? Nobody's guaranteed a scholarship by being really good in school. So on top of that, I had to make sure I was maintaining good grades and doing whatever I could in case I didn't get an athletic scholarship, so I could, bust my butt to try to do everything I can to get some type of scholarship academically too. And so it kind of it obviously worked out in my favor athletically, but if it didn't, I always had that backup option of, okay, I can apply to a school and I could probably get in because of my grades. So academics are just as important, guys. And I know school is not fun and exciting all the time. And you always go through classes like, oh my God, social studies again. Like, what are we learning about today? It happens, guys. Like, it's a thing. Not everybody enjoys school, but it's going to get you far. And if you guys just push through it and do the work and, be present, that's going to help you guys so much no matter what.
Yeah. Being present and doing the work. Throughout all of that, whether it's academics or athletics, doing the work and putting in the work. And sometimes that takes extra work. Yeah. I think sometimes we hear that, right? Like we hear that and we see that from our parents and in motivational quotes and all over Instagram, but Taylor is a testament to that. And I think sometimes you guys lose sight of, well, what is this actually going to get me? And I think that right here, the more that we can show examples of that, that's awesome. So it hasn't always been easy, right? Like, tell us about roadblocks. Obviously, there's been setbacks and there's been trials and there have been things that you didn't expect. Talk to us about that.
Right. Okay. So, a really cool backstory to who I am. I was born with something called Duane syndrome in my left eye, which means that basically from the day I was born, I've been legally blind in my left eye. So my parents decided, hey, what can we do to, see what her limits are, see what Taylor can do, see if sports are even an option. Let's try to get her hand-eye coordination better. Let's see if anything, athletically could be an option for her. They started throwing me in a bunch of different sports. I found softball, and I felt like softball was really my calling. And so I kind of stuck with that. And I'm really grateful that I did, especially getting to meet all of the people I did along the way. But I think that being blind in my left eye has been the easiest thing I've had to overcome, because one, I was already born with it, so I didn't know anything different. And two, I didn't let it define who I was as a person or an athlete, right? So I think that my biggest adversity that I've had to face, the roadblocks that I've had to face, are the same ones that you guys face daily, that you guys face all the time. The getting over the procrastination, or having a really bad outing, and how the heck do you come back from that, right? Or even the simple things, like I'm a pitcher. So for me, it's like, oh, I had a really bad day. This pitch wasn't working. How am I going to fix this? And that is normal for any other pitcher. Every other pitcher is going to experience that. And it's just it's the simple things. It's everything you guys face. Those are the hardest adversities that I've had to overcome too. So I want you guys to know that every athlete has to overcome these little roadblocks, right? Because if we make them bigger than they are, it's going to be a lot worse and a lot harder for us to actually move past it and then say, okay, like, how are we going to move past it, right? So for me, I guess just believing in the right people at the right time, right? So I've had coaches who are like, I don't think you could ever really get there. So what did I do about it? I said, okay, I'm going to find a coach that does believe in me, and I'm going to prove you wrong. And because I did buy into the coaches that did believe in me, and I chose to surround myself with the people and the teammates and a great support system, that's truly like the best thing you guys can do, is no matter what, have a great support system, coaches that believe in you, teammates that will support you and believe in you and cheer for you no matter what, right? Even on your worst days, they still know that, one, you're a great teammate, and two, they have your back, so you're going to have theirs, right? Those are the easiest way to overcome adversity, guys. Being a good teammate, and teammates will be good back to you, right? And then and then on top of that, like, truly just believing that you can do whatever you put your mind to, right? So if you don't believe in yourself, and you guys don't have the confidence in yourself, you guys can't expect other people to have confidence in you, right? So overcoming adversity really is self-confidence and being around the right people at the right time.
Awesome. And just, the impact of your support system. We talk about that in the Fearless Warrior program. That is the first module that they go through. And so I think it's something that's taken for granted. But obviously, if your parents wouldn't have started you, at what age did they start discovering which sports?
Well, so the first thing that I was put into was dance and taekwondo. So a lot of little girls get put into dance when they're younger. Great way to make friends, great way to let the parents not have to babysit their own kids, right? No. And three, it's something you can see if somebody can do. It's fun, it's easy, all that kind of stuff. Well, right next door was actually a taekwondo studio. So my dad was like, I'm going to go sign her up. And my mom was like, we should just stick to dance. And my dad was like, absolutely not. So then I would go back and forth between classes, one at taekwondo, then I go back to dance, and then back to taekwondo, then back to dance. And then one day they were like, let's throw in soccer. Let's try swimming. Let's put her in softball and see, if this is even an option. And so little by little, as they could realize that I wasn't fazed, like by a lack of eyesight, that I was still like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's try it. Let's just do it. When they saw how optimistic I was and how kind of like fearless I was, it made them realize like, okay, she's normal. Like, she can do anything that any other normal vision person can do. And so I think that's really kind of what grew the concept of, what does she want to do? She can do it as long as she thinks she can.
That is awesome to have that at such a young age. So cool.
Yes.
So you've talked about obstacles, you've talked about recruiting. I kind of want to open it up and see what you guys think. Taylor has shared so much with you guys already. Has anything come up for you guys on either something similar? And I know that we've talked about this in some of the different teams of how many times you've been told, well, you're not good enough by a coach or a teammate, or, you know, roadblocks, right? And I don't know if anything is coming up for you guys or specific questions around that, but I'm sure Taylor would love to answer them. What you guys got? Anything about recruiting? I know you guys always have recruiting questions. Maddie?
How did you get to be in the pro leagues?
Okay, so obviously, like, it works a little bit similar but different to the way that other pro leagues work. But basically, our senior year of college, there are opportunities for you to enter the draft. So similar to the MLB draft, they call it the NPF draft. The NPF draft is the National Pro Fast Pitch League, and that's specifically for softball. And coaches will reach out from the, or commissioners, whatever it is, from the league, and ask the college coaches, are any of your players interested in the draft? These are some of the people that we've been looking at. They're really, you know, a really high commodity. They'll probably go get picked up in the draft. Are they interested in the draft? Are they going to enter in the draft? And then I chose to enter the draft my senior year after talking to my coaches. And then basically on draft day, you just watch the draft and kind of just wait for your name to be called. So it's really similar to, you know, football, baseball, like all the normal stuff. The NBA, WNBA, it's similar in that sense, but it's a lot smaller. So the MLB has, you know, however many rounds. The NFL has however many rounds. Typically, the NPF only has 4 to 6 rounds. And in each of those rounds, there's usually only like 5 or 6 players. So at the end of the day, only 20 to 25 players are being drafted out of however many softball seniors are in the league. So, or in college softball. And you can go in the draft as long as you're in college, from whether it's Division I to Division III to NAI, you can enter the draft no matter what, within those requirements, obviously. But it kind of works pretty similar that way. The new pro league I'm in, a little bit different. They kind of advertised it, and I had my sports agent, who just happens to be my uncle. He thought it was a great opportunity and reached out, and they responded and said they were super interested. We had a lot of phone interviews, Zoom interviews, back and forth, obviously, because we're all in different places at different times. And then from there, it just kind of is like, okay, sending a contract, revising it, looking it over, having meetings about what to change, what not, and then signing the contract. So once the contract's signed, you're basically in the league. So I hope that helps a little bit. But the leagues were a little bit different. And this is also the first year of that new league. So once Athletes Unlimited this is kind of like the trial run. So once they get all the kinks out of their system, there might be a different method to how they'll draft people and how that stuff will work out.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome question, Maddie. I've been curious about that too. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yes, absolutely. It's it kind of flies under the radar, especially with college softball being as well known as it is. So anything that we can do to grow the game beyond college, obviously, because I'm sure you guys, some of you guys will get to a point in your life where, you don't want to end your career playing college softball, right? You want to go further than that. And I think that right now it's a struggle in society today, because female athletes don't really have a lot of options beyond college that are well known and well paid. So it's not a lifetime job. So we're trying to make it so that eventually one day your generation and the generations after you have those opportunities, and we can grow female athletes and their games as well.
Ah, so cool. Reagan, what you got, girl?
When you were growing up, who did you really look up to?
Are you talking about athletically or in general?
In general.
In general? Okay. Well, first and foremost, my dad is my most important person in my entire life. And he has gone through a ton of medical conditions and struggles of his own. And so for him to be able to live life and overcome his own obstacles every day, that really just showed me that I could do anything as long as he could do it because of everything that he's been through. And so for me, I think he has been my biggest inspiration in my life. But from a athletic perspective, you as a pitcher, you always look up to the Kat Ostermans and the Monica Abbotts and the Jenny Finches, especially from being from Arizona, right? But my favorite female athlete actually is Layla Ali. And I think that it's really cool. So my mom was an amateur fighter when I was growing up. And so for me, I always thought it was really cool to sit and watch the fights with her and the boxing matches and all the UFC stuff. And so when I was younger, I got to watch Layla Ali and just hearing the story about her father and her wanting to be just like him, but be the female version and be the best female version that she could be. It was just really awesome because I think that she is a huge reason why, female sports are being more looked at today and why females are starting to have a voice in athletics and in everyday life. So for me, she was one of my biggest inspirations for sure, athletically.
Thank you.
Awesome question. Cool. Okay, so we're going to keep rolling. Oh, Claire, you got one?
Yeah. Why, when you were younger, did you pick softball out all the other sports you played?
Yeah, okay, that's actually a really good question. I get that question all the time. So, I mean, I guess it could be similar to what some of you guys have gone through. I'm sure that softball is not the only thing that you guys have ever tried in your life, right? Regardless of whether it's a sport or anything else. So I think a reason why my parents threw me into all of the stuff that they did was to find out if I had a passion for anything or if there was something I really liked doing over other things. I did piano lessons for a really long time, did a lot of music lessons because my grandma is very musically inclined. And, tried doing all that stuff. I tried a whole bunch of sports. I tried to do a lot of different outside activities with friends just to kind of see what I liked. And one day I just walked into softball and I was like, you know what? I could see myself really buying into this sport and buying into the process of what it's like to be a softball player. And then obviously when I was younger, the Women's College World Series had started becoming a bigger platform on television. And so that's when I got to watch the UCLAs and the Arizonas and the Tennessees and the Oklahomas all on TV playing softball. And I think that just the emotion, that softball players have, the excitement, the crowds behind them, it's a fun and exciting game to watch, right? And it's fast paced. And I really liked that. But I really wanted to be in a team sport, I think, at the end of the day. And I just felt like softball gave me that all around feeling of this is what I want to do. And I kind of just knew it. And so when you get that feeling of, when I think for me, that's exactly what happened. So I just was like, yes, like I know this is what I want to do.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Very cool. Reagan, you got a quick one before we dive in?
So I pitch too. So like when you are struggling, what mentally do you do to get out of it?
Reagan, how did you know my next question? That's awesome. Reagan's a mind reader.
Awesome. So yeah, there's actually a lot of different types of, I guess from what I'm told, you guys call them mental skills. So there's a ton of different like mental skills that I've used throughout my game that I actually still use in everyday life, right? So getting out of struggles, right? Overcoming adversity. The biggest thing, don't forget to breathe. Sometimes when we hit the panic button and the game moves quick on us and life is going so fast, sometimes we just forget to like stop and breathe, because how are you supposed to function without breathing, right? It's really, really hard. I don't know if any of you tried it, right? So don't forget to breathe. Take a step back, take a deep breath, right? Who cares if anybody's looking at you sitting there? Like, you're a lot calmer, right? And that's another thing. Don't care it doesn't matter what people think, right? It matters what you think. What you think is the most important, right? And that goes back to the whole self-confidence as well, right? If you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect others to believe in you, right? But there's also, this is actually a piece of advice that or something that Coach Kendra at Arizona had taught me. Everybody gets those butterfly feelings, right? Where your tummy is like fluttering and you get like all built up and worked up, right? That is totally fine, right? There's a difference between good butterflies and bad butterflies. It's totally fine to have the butterflies, but what we want to do is keep them in a straight line, right? In any type of formation that we can. What we don't want to happen is when those butterflies are fluttering all over the place and all out of control, right? It's fine to have butterflies. We just got to keep them in control a little bit, right? And that breathing and that self-confidence is 100% going to help those butterflies stay in line and be like, yeah, I'm a little nervous today, or I've been struggling a little bit, but I've been working really hard too. So I know one day it's going to break through, and today could be that day. This at-bat, this pitch, this game, it could be that opportunity for me to overcome whatever I'm struggling with, right? And then on top of that, for me as a pitcher, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to visualize success, right? So it's not going to help you guys if you walk up to the plate or get a ground ball hit to you or throw a pitch and you're visualizing yourself making an error, or you leaving a pitch over the plate and somebody hitting a home run, or a pitch coming so fast that you forget to swing and then you strike out, right? Like, it's not going to help you guys to sit there and see all the bad outcomes that could happen, right? Those moments, if you guys have ever laid down where you're like, oh, I'm laying in bed and I see myself and my team winning a championship and this is the outcome, or we're going to win this game, or this next pitch is going to strike somebody out, like stuff like that, right? Visualizing success, because when you visualize success, you can feel it happen. And when you can feel it happen, it tends to happen, right? And there's going to be times where it doesn't, but that's part of life. That's part of the game, right? It's something that everybody goes through, right? So, but as long as we can visualize it and then we can believe into it, right? We can buy into that process. And then along with that visualization and that self-confidence is the self-talk, right? So if we can tell ourselves, like, maybe it's not like, oh, you got this, you can do it. Like, I don't really thrive off of self-talk like that. For me personally, I reinforce the confidence that I have, right? So as I'm visualizing success, like, okay, I've clearly seen that this girl is not going to hit an outside pitch. So why am I'm not going to throw one now that's going to make her hit it, right? So I'm going to visualize what I'm going to do. I'm going to be successful at it, and then I'm going to execute the plan, right? So my self-talk is a little bit different, and everybody's self-talk is going to be a little bit different, right? If you're one of those people that is super peppy and loves to cheer for yourself and, yeah, you got this, come on, but that's what your teammates were there for, right? So your self-talk has to come from within you. Like, don't attack the zone, work in your count. You're going to get a good pitch to hit, like that kind of stuff, right? But everybody is a little bit different. So you just have to find what works for you guys individually and then really excel off of that and then thrive off of what you guys know you're good at and what you want, right?
Oh, so good. So good. And as pitchers. So just so Taylor can kind of see, raise your hand if you're a pitcher. Where are my pitchers at? Which is so crazy because like 85% of the girls that enroll in the program are pitchers. Where are my catchers at? Yeah, catchers. Where are the rest of my positions? Come on, I know some of you pitchers play multiple positions. Taylor, do you have any questions for these girls? What do you want to know about these girls?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so when you guys are struggling, right? And I guess you guys, this is like your opportunity to explain how you guys overcome adversity. But when you guys are struggling and having some, self-doubt and trying to work your way out of it, what are some good mechanisms that are coping mechanisms or optimistic things that you guys do to work out of that yourself?
Oh, yeah. Hit it, Reagan.
So when I pitch and I struggle, I like to go to the back of the mound and focus on something else and breathe, and it helps me calm down.
Okay, awesome. Guys, I think this is a huge thing. One, because I have done that so many times too, right? There's a soft focus versus a hard focus, right? Hard focus is when you're on the mound, you see, you visualize, you attack the strike zone, right? Soft focus is just breathing, right? You break, you stop what you're doing. It's that 20 seconds of non-existence in your mind, right? Whether you look out at the flag behind you, or you just take a deep breath, look out at the grass, look down at the ground, and just say like, okay, I'm out of focus and now I'm back in, right? That is huge, because not everybody can be 100% focused for 100% of the time, right? It's not possible, right? So we have to be focused when we're focused, even when we're struggling, right? But those non-focused times, or those recollection times, are so beneficial. So that is 100% a great idea, Reagan. I love it.
I think Maddie, you're up. I gotcha.
I kind of do the same thing, except like I do like motivational talk. I like tell myself I know I can do this because I've been trained to do it.
Yes. Okay. So that's amazing. This is all great stuff, guys. And I actually implement this stuff into my game as well. You guys train to be athletes, right? You guys train to be softball players. So you guys go out there and you know what you need to do to get the job done, right? You know that you've worked so hard to do it. But another thing is, you know that you guys can do it because you've done it before, right? So maybe even taking a step back. And for me, actually, this is key. Like, this is such a vivid moment that you just brought up, Maddie, because we played UCLA in a super regional my junior year, and it was the bottom of the third inning, bases loaded, no outs, right? And eventually I just sat there and I'm telling myself, like, why are you letting them beat you? You've worked so hard for this. You know you can do this. You know you can get them out. This is all you've worked for, right? And I don't think I will ever forget, like, pitch to pitch was a constant reinforcement of, you're better than them. You can beat them. You can do it. You've already done this. You've trained for it. You're ready, right? And so everybody goes through stages like this, guys, right? But what Reagan and Maddie are talking about, 100% true, right? These are some of the easiest things that you guys can do to flip your game around, right? Or even improve it, right? Or even if you're doing just great, it doesn't have to be a struggle, right, that you're overcoming, but just being able to sit there and say, okay, I'm good. I'm going to reinforce myself anyway. I'm having a great game, but I know I can still do this. So let's make it even better, right? These are great ideas. I really, really, really like them a lot.
Cool. We have time for one more, and then we're going to wrap it up and send you guys on your way. Claire, what you got?
I visualize making that pitch and focusing on that one mechanic, and thinking back to like a good play that I made or a good pitch, and thinking that that's what you're capable of and you can do it again.
Yeah, guys, that's so awesome. Just like she said, visualizing, right? Believing in yourself, and then actually executing, right? Sometimes the execution isn't going to work the way we want it to, but as long as you're confident in what you're doing and you believe in yourself, no matter what the outcome is, you're going to be just fine in the end, right?
Awesome. Okay, so I love this question. I love what it brings out in all of our guest speakers, but if you could go back in time and you could give yourself advice, what would that one piece of advice be?
Yes. So both my travel ball coach and my college coach completely emphasize this every single day. It's my favorite advice that I like to pass along to everybody else. And I'm sure a lot of you've heard it, but for me, it just really hits home because I've heard it my whole life, and it's always just reassured me that everything's going to be okay. But be where your feet are, right? So we are living in a present time, right? No matter where it is. Right now, we're all sitting at home in our rooms, in our houses, right here, right now, right? On a softball field, same concept. Be where your feet are. Your feet are on that field. Be present, right? Be present with your body. Be present with your mind. Be present with your feet, right? Anything that you do, right? Be where your feet are. And then that's always one of my go-to thoughts, right? And then while you're there, you got to trust in the process, right? So be where your feet are, trust the process. All of your guys' processes are different, right? Mine's a lot different. I'm from California. You guys are from all over the place, right? Whether it's Michigan, Nebraska, California, no matter where you guys are, all of your processes to get to where you're going to go completely different, right? No two people are the same, right? No two athletes are the same. You are your own individual person, and you guys can determine the outcome of who you want to be and what your life is, right? And that always goes back to being where your feet are, right? Because as long as you are present in every single moment that you live in, you guys are going to be totally fine no matter what happens in the future, right? Flush out what happened in the past, keep those good memories, get rid of the bad ones. Sometimes use those bad memories to get you guys better, or get you guys, use that as motivation to get better in that moment. And then in the future, it'll pay off, right? So definitely 100%, guys, be where your feet are. Write that down, memorize it, tape it to a wall, write it on a mirror, do something, because that is the most important thing that I have ever learned, and the best advice that has ever been given to me in softball. And if I could go back, and if I would have known that myself without having it like ingrained as I kept getting older, if I would have known that from the start, it could have been world changing, right? So now that you guys know it, you guys can remember it, you guys can implement it, you guys can tell your other teammates, you can tell your coaches, anybody, right? Anybody in life, right? No matter what happens, softball, not softball, just walking around the street, just be where your feet are, right? You never know what's going to happen. You never know what opportunities are going to come your way.
So good. So good. I love that. And it's serving you in the future. I mean, this is something that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life as a coach, as a pro player, wherever life takes you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So cool. Taylor, thank you so much. I always end it. If the girls want to reach out to you, what is the best way to get in contact with you to ask additional questions?
Yes. So additional questions, I have social media platforms that I check regularly. You can go on Instagram, Twitter. Some people reach out on Facebook. I have an email that I can share with Amanda to give to all of you guys if needed. The only thing I don't give out is my phone number for obvious reasons. But any other type of platform, I try to answer any type of questions the best of my ability. The easiest way for you guys to get access to me, if I have to like go looking for your mail, is to obviously say that you were part of this group session. And that'll be the easiest way for me to be like, okay, I remember who this is. And it's easier for me to respond instead of kind of just being like, okay, I don't have any idea who this person is, right? So just give a little bit of background about yourself, and then any questions that you guys have, I'd be happy to answer for you guys.
Awesome. If you guys want to unmute yourself, we can give Taylor a send off. Taylor, one of the most recent things that we've been doing, it's been a like send off signal. And so we've done, is this I love you, or is this I love you? You guys are laughing about that. This is I love you. So I love you, rock out, thumbs up, whoop, whoop. All right, who's choosing it tonight? We got to do something different.
I did it last time.
What, Claire?
I did it last time.
Oh, you did it last time. Marissa, did you choose one? Have you chosen one yet? Give us something. And then whatever she chooses, we screenshot.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Think of the first emoji that comes to mind. We haven't done any faces. We could do a face.
Oh, geez. No.
Pressure's on.
Can you choose someone else? I can't think of anything.
Shelby's laughing, so I'm going to make Shelby pick it. Shelby. You guys are stumped. Who's got one?
I think we can do the okay sign.
Have we done okay? All right. Hit it with the okay. All right, screenshots coming. Ready? And here it comes. Thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about my life. And any other questions, please feel free to ask.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Have a great week, you guys. We'll see you on Thursday for our next guest speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.